Fandom, how's it going? Today we're going to be looking at the JSA Omnibus Volume 2. Yes, my long-awaited review for the second volume of the JSA Omnibus is finally here. I reviewed the first volume about a year ago, but it's taken me this long with everything else going on to finally plow through this big guy. Let's see if Volume 2 stacks up just as great as Volume 1 does. Let's get into it. What I found to be the most fascinating aspect about this volume over the first one is that it centers more on the relationship of fathers and their kids. You've got Jay Garrick, Sentinel, who they have in some way, shape, or form kind of failed their kids. So what they're kind of doing here is they're seeking redemption by raising up the new generation of JSA members like Star Spangled Kid, Captain Marvel, Joaquin, all these characters that are coming up. They look up to the older members of the JSA and they are seeing that, yeah, we've got bigger responsibilities than just saving the world. We have to raise up a new generation, and they're starting to really realize that. I love that. I really do. I love that exploration of characters, and I didn't really realize that until halfway through the book when one of the characters actually points it out, where they're like, look, we have failed our kids. We have screwed up, but we have a chance to redeem ourselves with this new generation. It's something that is subtle, but it's kind of an overall theme throughout the entire volume that I really did enjoy. I should also note that if you are a fan of Captain Marvel and Black Adam and all those kind of characters, you are really going to love this volume. Captain Marvel and Black Adam take center stage in a lot of this, and I would actually say they're in more than half of the book, and they are relevant in more than half of the book. In one particular instance, you actually go back in time and you see Black Adam's origin. You see why Black Adam is the way that he is, and he's justified in all the actions that he does in the future. Because in the future event, what ends up happening is that Black Adam's home is taken over. So Black Adam goes, look, my family was killed by people like this. I am not gonna let my homeland be ruled by these warmongers. So I'm gonna take it back by force. You understand his motivation like in the same vein that you understand Sinestro. It's kind of an interesting concept because when you look at Black Adam and you look at Sinestro and you look at what Geoff Johns does with both of the characters, you realize they're kind of the same prototype. They're kind of in the same way. And in a way, Black Adam was the prototype for what Johns would later do in his Green Lantern run with Sinestro. I've been mentioning a lot of the bigger characters like Power Girl, Captain Marvel, Black Adam, but also what's really great about this volume is that the smaller characters get a lot of screen time. They get a lot of time to play. One particular issue involving Mr. Terrific and a church scene actually made me tear up. If you know anything about Mr. Terrific, he's a widower. And there was a scene involving him and Dr. Midnight that just almost broke me while reading this. And I'm not somebody that gets sentimental, but I was like, oh my god, I'm tearing up. It was great. It was a really great moment involving a character that really doesn't get a lot of limelight. And that's what I really liked about this volume, is that once Johns takes over the reins and, like I said, gives David Goyer kind of the boot, Johns really gets to explore more with these smaller characters, the ones that don't really get a lot of limelight in the Prime DC universe. I have to say that perhaps the most interesting arc in this for me, just from a conceptual standpoint, was Redemption Lost, simply because it kind of felt like a pre-Blackest Night before there was a Blackest Night. If you know anything about Geoff Johns' Green Lantern run, he started the run around 2004, and before that, Hal Jordan was the Spectre. Well, Geoff Johns actually gets a chance to write Hal Jordan as the Spectre in this volume, and let's just say things get a little bit weird and the dead start rising. Sound familiar? It's kind of like Blackest Night. It's a really interesting thing, and there's even a thought bubble in here, a speech bubble, pardon me, that actually references Blackest Night. So I'm thinking in the back of my head, how long was Geoff Johns planning Blackest Night? Because he references it in this volume. It's a subtle little nod to it, but it's still in there, and it made me go, huh, I see what you're doing there. The art in here ranges from to really great. I wasn't too crazy about Rags Morales. He does a couple of issues in here that I thought, oh, you're kind of phoning it in. I don't really like it too much. It's not something that I care for. Steven Sadowski does a lot of the art in this, and I thought very great stuff, very good work. There's a particular issue in here that is drawn wonderfully, and I'm blanking on the name right now of the artist, I apologize, but it involves Dr. Fate and the Rock of Eternity when Dr. Fate comes back after being, let's just say, out of the picture for a little bit, and he entombs somebody in the Rock of Eternity that just made me go, bad ass. I bow down to you, Dr. Fate. It was just a complete geek out moment for me that I absolutely loved from just beginning to end. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know Dr. Fate was that badass. If there's a drawback to this volume, aside from the fact that there are no special features, it's that it ends in the middle of an arc. And what I mean by that is that this collects JSA 26 through 75, Hawkman 23 through 25, JSA Annual 1, and JSA Secret Files and Origins number 2. However, JSA number 75, the volume and the number that this particular omnibus ends in the middle of a story. So you have to pick up JSA Omnibus Volume 3 to get the conclusion of that story arc. It's kind of screwed up that you did that, DC, because of the fact that you're forcing people to go out and pick up another volume instead of just cramming 2 more issues in here. Yes, this thing is loaded, but when you think about it, could have easily shoved in another 60 issues into this bad boy and completed that story arc. So buyer beware, just so you're aware of it and you get to the end of this volume and go, that doesn't make any sense. Why does this volume end here? It's because you got to pick up volume 3 or find issues 76 and 77 to end the arc. Overall, if you picked up volume 1, I don't see why you wouldn't pick up volume 2. Volume 2 is great. I absolutely loved this volume. I think it explores all the characters a lot better. You get more screen time with a lot more of the side characters. And like I said, when Geoff Johns finally does take over the reins 100%, the stories just really fly by. They flow a lot better. There's definitely more of a through line in between each arc where there's stories on stories and you see, okay, well, the seeds for something was laid down about 10 issues ago and now they're playing out. Geoff Johns does what he does best in this volume, and I absolutely love this. I am giving this a buy. It is massive, and it's well worth the purchase. I absolutely love this, and I cannot wait to dive into Volume 3. Like I said, though, you have to be aware that this does end in the middle of an arc, so you will have to pick up Volume 3 or find the subsequent 2 issues in order to finish that arc. If this is your first time checking out my channel, check out some of my other reviews. I do weekly reviews of comic books, special editions, hardcovers. I have been doing reaction videos lately. I've just been super busy on this channel lately, and I'm just hoping it grows a lot more. Comment, subscribe, let me know what you think of the JSA Omnibus Volume 2, and in fact, let me know who your favorite member of the JSA is in the comment section below. If you want, please, please, please donate to my PayPal account. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much to those of you that have donated. It means the world to me. It helps keep the light on this channel. It's so great. I love you guys so much. You can find that link in the description below to donate to this channel. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Have a great week.